Mario Andretti has sneakily become one of the most released supporting characters in all of the Disney Cars diecast line. This is around his 15th release all time, and I believe it's his 9th release as a single, which is absolutely insane for a supporting character. And as a supporting character, you wouldn't expect him to get too many variants, but over the years, he has accumulated a fair amount, ranging from obviously the original Chinese version, 2007-8, and part of 2009 until he was converted to a much more accurate looking version, but still made in China. We got a Vietnamese version a couple years ago in the NASCAR line in that 5-pack. We've gotten the Thailand variant now several years since 2018. This just happens to be the most recent one. And the time I decided it's finally appropriate to review you and compare you to all your other variants. You have the metallic version. There is this custom that you guys might be wondering, what is that in the background? We'll get to that. It's a fun little German Easter egg. But let's dive in here with the Thailand variant of Mario Andretti. Obviously, voiced by Mario Andretti, a great cameo in Cars, along with Dale Earnhardt Jr., Bob Costas as Bob Costas, Darrell Waltrip as Darrell Cartrip, kind of fits into that category. But unlike some of these other ones, whether it be Dale Earnhardt Jr. or Danny Swervez from Cars 3, or maybe even Bubba Wheelhouse you would throw into this, Mario has gotten a lot of releases. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has stopped. Danny Swervez has been very much so on the down low outside of a couple variants, right? So Mario Andretti has retained his position and kind of claimed himself as like the most released, most popular, most pertinent cameo character in Cars 1. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at here. But yeah, because of that, I figured like, hey, everyone kind of knows him. Everyone who wants him hopefully has him. Didn't really feel a need to review him several years ago when the Thailand variant debuted. I think it was 2018 or 19, but now it's time. I did Darrell Cartrip, his Thailand variant, early in the year, so gotta do Mario. They came out in the same case, being case R of this year. Yes, no, it was case Q. Yeah, it was Mario, Darrell Cartrip, Dexter Hoover, My Name's Not Chuck, and Nikki B. I mean, it was the Cars 1 case. And on the back here, naturally, you have Case P stuff, so stuff from the prior case. Floyd Mulvihill, Jonathan Wrenchworth, Donna Pitts, McQueen would sign, Doc Hudson, and Claude Scruggs there. All of whom, yes, like I said, earlier case, NMP 2025 releases. But I'll be right back with Mr. Andretti here all opened up. I think we all remember where Mario appears in Cars 1. Now, unfortunately, he has not reprised this role. He has not appeared in any other movies, which I would love to see him, similar to how we got Darrell Cartrip in all 3. We got Bob in Cars 1 and Cars 3. We got Jeff Gorvette in Cars 2 and 3. Would love to see Mario come back in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, if the cars here I have in the background didn't give it away, very iconic scene between Fred and Marco Axelbender, the security guard, and then Patty, his assistant. Very strange inclusion. I always thought like Patty just chilling there. I guess it makes sense. Kind of like social media manager. I don't know. Patty just kind of there. Always a very unique model. But Patty actually is another Thailand variant from a couple years ago that I need to review. So she is down the pipeline, I would hope. Hopefully I can get one to open. And yeah, would be a good little full circle moment now that we're doing Mario. But let's compare him primarily to the Chinese version with the red wheels. The original Chinese version has inaccurate tan wheels. So just want to take note of that. This version is a lot more applicable to the comparison that we're gunning for here in this video. So right off the bat, you can see that now this is an eye plate. It's a plastic inserted piece instead of being a part of the main metal body like it was before. Although they dialed up the metallic on the gold part of his eyelids and the roof there. I think it looks really good. I think it looks better than this kind of honey peanut butter. It's a very much so a peanut butter looking color. I like how it's a little shinier now, so I appreciate that. You still have your blue eyes there looking pretty good. The eyeliner added kind of some gravity, some depth. Don't mind it at all. The graphics here on the hood, very clear. 427 Ci. I think very crisp. Not blurry is all, not grainy like we sometimes, or a lot of the times, come to expect from Thailand. Smile, headlights, not painted, grill. Grill looks a little wider, a little thicker there on the slits. Moving to the side here. China on top, Thailand on bottom. So you can see the Piston Cup logo there, the retro Piston Cup logo that is, with the checkered flags on either side. I wouldn't say the Chinese version of the decal looks all that clear, but maybe the Thailand version is a little less clear. I mean, it's a little bit more of a darker blue. The cup on the bottom is a little less clear. The checkerboard looks maybe a little more vibrant. The white and black difference is a little more profound. I don't really care either way there. The Mario Andretti signature above the 11 is a little thicker, I would say. The 11 itself, maybe a little less crisp around the edges, but again, not a very noticeable detail. We're getting a little nitpicky here. I will say, though, that the red wheels are a little darker. They are not as vibrant, not as much of a tomato red as they were on the Chinese version, so that's something to keep in mind. And then you have the Mario text. I like how the leathers are staggered. I will say the Chinese version looks better. Thailand version, a little grainy, not as crisp. So that is a knock against the Thailand version, whose decals have looked really good so far. I think the 11 here on the roof looks really nice on the gold background now. Before, it seems like the 11 was a little bit bigger. Again, a little bit more of a vibrant red. This looks to be a little bit more of like an orange red. Come on, bro. More of a salmon, orangey red versus this being, very much so bright, vibrant red. So some coloring differences as to be expected. You have the 11 here on the trunk. I think this is another reason why I did not review him initially, because there aren't that many differences, surprisingly. You'd think, some of these variants are just wildly different. Like Mel Dorado, who has no business being as different as he is. He has no decals whatsoever, and yet he is an entirely different color than the Chinese Mel Dorado. Here we have Mario, lots of stuff going on, right? Lots of decals, and yet, I will say, this decal on the Thailand variant of Mario is not great. The white is smeared. It kind of creates like a motion blur, not immersion. Motion blur effect on the Mario script logo there. That, it just looks really bad. But point being, not a ton of differences. Although, actually, let's see here. Ooh, that is not. Oh, that is no good at all. That is a horrible difference. That just ruined it for me, guys. So, the taillights are now just decals. You can see they are completely flat on the rear there, whereas before they were raised and, part of the metal body. As you can see, they are actual taillights. They are molded on, part of the main metal body, like the bumper. It's not like we're just painting a silver line. They actually put these slits and all that in there. But for the taillights, they were just like, keep it all flat, get rid of that, make them decals. And I have not noticed Mattel doing that ever in any other situation where they just remove taillights and replace them with decals. As something Mattel, I'm going to say usually, but I'm pretty sure never is done. It's not like they took, let's say, Nate Stanchion or Lee Race. I'm just looking at a few off in the distance here. You guys could come up with a bunch of other ideas as well. And remove their headlights or taillights and made them decals. That is not something that is usually within the scope of Mattel's evil powers. But they did that here, and it ruins it for me. I really think that's a horrible, cheap out way to go. But we're going to move past that and take a look at the base here. T42A means he was produced during the 42nd week of 2024 at the A factory in Thailand there. You have his CGM22 product code. Here you have 370. Oh my God, I can't read today, guys. 317th day of 20. I guess that would be 2012. So this must have been like a Radiator Springs Classic version of him. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's right. I had the Chinese version with the inaccurate TAM wheels for the longest time, and then when 2013 really actually, the Radiator Springs Classic line re-released him as a single, got one, and then yeah, added that to the collection. So that's why I hesitated, because, well, it's not 2002. Can't be 2022, because Thailand was making cars by that point. So it has to be 2012. Process of elimination. So real quick here, let's swap out the Chinese version for the Vietnamese version, which I think we can all agree is pretty poor because of those eyes. Yeah, I mean, it's not great. It's not, yeah, I mean, black eyeliner, bleeding down, the eyes themselves blurry, peanut butter, just no good. You're missing the red stripes on the roof there. They're on the sides there. I mean, this is a really, really, what the hell, head-scratching attempt at Mario from Mattel, although the taillights are not decals, so that is a win. I don't think all these other problems make up for that, though. I do like the color. The teal color is nice, but the roof color is very snot-esque, very peanut butter. I love the gold that the Thailand version offers. Almost makes me want to just call this guy Metallic Mario Andretti, like I did with Christina Whelan and Komodo's Thailand variants. But then we already have an official Metallic Mario Andretti from 2018. Now, the fun thing about this is, well, it's extremely rare, and everything's metallic except for the roof, which is the original peanut butter color, something that got toned up in its shininess on the Thailand version. So if you put this together with the metallic paint here, you would have a really cool looking version of Mario, but instead you just have the teal, all metallic, acised, you know, whatever verb you want to use. I think this is a beautiful release. Thankfully, Mattel did this while they were still in China, so you get the taillights, you get the clearer decals and all that stuff, because the year later, if they literally pushed this guy back a year, he would have ended up a Thailand variant, like some of these other metallic releases we've seen, Hall and Gas, Rex Revler, etc., etc. So I like this guy a lot. Let's take a gander here. You have from the, this was the only good thing about the Vietnam version. It was in the NASCAR 5-pack, so everyone got these pit stop barriers. So I think that's really cool. I'll probably slap that in the thumbnail. It's a very forlorn accessory. And then, yeah, real quick, with just the original Chinese version, you don't have as much silver around the windshield there, and the wheels are tan, which is wildly inaccurate. But thankfully, with this one, Mattel corrected it not too long after the initial release. You know, 2007, 2008, 2009, and then later in 2009, they were like, yeah, let's correct that. They gave him his chase packaging. Yes, that's actually a thing. That was a thing in 2009. They would have chases, but the only thing that was really different was the packaging itself. It made no sense. Thankfully, they never did that again after 2009. But I think, yeah, like Mario, Chucky, Ferrari, F430 got that treatment, and that was it. So kind of a weird little Easter egg in the Cars line that people tend to overlook. But now, yeah, we have Mario and Daryl open from Thailand. If you guys saw my video on Daryl, you'll know I loved him. I thought he was phenomenal. Really nice looking variant. Mario, some good things and some really bad, primarily those taillights. So guys, let me know in the comment section below, who do you prefer between Mario and Daryl? I think that's kind of a fair fight, right? I'd say that's a pretty fair fight. For me, I like Daryl better just because he's more of a mainstay in the Cars universe. He's in all three of the movies. I think that's pretty cool. Mario's great, though, as well. They're both unique models, both cameo characters, although Mario's name isn't carified like almost everyone else's. And like I promised, this version, which I will review in the future, is how Mario looks in the German version of Cars 1, in which he is voiced by Mika Hakkinen, a German racer, I believe. Just kind of like how in Cars 3, Lewis Hamilton, Jeff Gorvette, my bad, is replaced with like Fernando Alonso, which actually, another little fun surprise is Fernando Alonso voices Mario Andretti in the Spanish version of Cars 3, as in the version from Spain. Not just, all Spanish-speaking countries. You guys know what I'm saying. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Bye now.